Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where I have to record this before my wife gets back from swimming, which can be any minute now. Today we are tackling the first story in Superman number 14, The Concert of Doom. It sounds more interesting than it actually is. This also feels like a perfect story for an episode of the New Adventures of Lois and Clark. I'm kind of surprised they never did a story like this, though there's probably high odds that no one from that show ever read this comic. Or most Golden Age comics, to be honest. Clark receives a free concert ticket to this famous pianist named Krasinski. He doesn't want it because apparently Clark here is not into fine arts. He's just like a regular dude, or like a stereotype of a regular dude that a sitcom would love. He gives it to Lois, who I'm pretty sure is still the lovelorn column writer, editor. She, of course, hates this. This has been properly established that she hates writing the lovelorn column. I would love to read one of her lovelorn comics. She doesn't seem all that lovelorn or care about any of this at all, so the advice has to be somewhat interesting. She goes to the concert, and when she comes back to write about it, she finds that everything from her purse is missing, including her paycheck. Perry White comes in to tell them about a story. It seems everyone who went to Krasinski's concert has been robbed. They're all missing stuff, and no one has any idea how this happened. Clark is now actually interested in the story, but Lois tells him, no, you didn't take the ticket in the first place. You know what? Fair. She's not being cold here. She's just right. Clark shouldn't be into this. And Clark didn't have one of his usual Lois senses that she was going to be in danger by going out alone before, so honestly, this is all on Clark. She goes to the concert and buys another ticket, hoping to see if something would happen again. Clark then, very creepily, he's very creepy in this comic, buys the ticket next to the woman who just bought a ticket. That's what he tells the box office person. He wants the ticket right next to the woman who just bought a ticket. That should be a pretty big no-no, at least today. Of course, it's not going to be no-no then, but it should have been. And then when he sits next to Lois, he lies and tells her that he must be just so attracted to her. Yeah, I don't think this was the right time for the line, especially when you're already being super creepy, Clark. So the concert starts, and everybody around Clark starts to fall asleep, but they're not actually asleep, they're hypnotized. Krasinski can play the piano in a way that can hypnotize people. You would think everybody at the last concert would have noticed the big jump in time when they were being robbed. Clark then pretends to be hypnotized too to see where this is going. A bunch of gangsters or thugs or street toughs show up who are working for Krasinski to come rob everybody of everything. Once again, this seems like a lot of time passing that no one seems to have noticed from the last time. At this point, the entire concert would be gone before they were done robbing everyone, which, just watching him play 5 seconds of piano, maybe hypnotizes them to think they've got an entire concert. When they try to rob Lois, Krasinski, who kind of had a run-in with her outside, it's not a very long moment, it's maybe a panel, says that he kind of likes her because she's a main character. Best guess I have, there was no other reason for that. So he has them put back all the stuff they took from her last time, which they apparently just have at the ready. This has been at least a day, or how many concerts has he put on during the day? Maybe it's the same day. Wow, that'd be impressive. The gangsters also want to shoot Officer Casey, who has come to investigate and is in the seats, which is also a very bad idea, which Krasinski says and knocks him around for it. But they decide to take Casey anyway, so there's going to be a massive problem with, the missing officer. Honestly, the fact that people keep getting robbed at his concert is going to lead to at least some sort of investigation involving taking him to jail, or taking him for interrogation. They probably don't have anything to hold him by, but it's definitely weird enough that you have to use Occam's razor here. He's doing it. After they leave, Clark becomes Superman. Superman, bright blue costume, red cape. You know the drill. He follows Krasinski's car, but Krasinski is able to see Superman in the rearview mirror, which is impressive because, Superman has flown over people, by a foot, and no one's seen him. But also, he would have had to have his rearview mirror pointed at the sky to be able to see Superman. What's he afraid of coming up behind him? An airplane? A flock of geese? So he drives down to a mountain where there's about to be an explosive set off to make a new road, and jumps out of the car so Superman doesn't see him. Superman doesn't somehow see the guy jumping out of his car and hiding in the bushes. When Superman gets on the car, the explosion happens, he gets buried by rocks. So Krasinski understands who Superman is, but he doesn't have a lot of information, or else he would know that wouldn't work. He then takes a taxi back. Superman comes out of the piles of rocks, because of course he is. That's not going to kill him, or even really stop him all that much. Now with the car's license, because the car is still there, he knows where Krasinski's going. He also could always just go back to the concert hall and follow Krasinski again, but he's going to need to get to Krasinski quickly because when he arrives, Krasinski's mad at his guys for having Casey and trying to kill him. As soon as Krasinski leaves, they try to kill Casey, and then Superman comes in and saves him. He grabs the head gangster guy, the one who's constantly trying to kill Casey, and threatens to throw him off a cliff. He then explains what Krasinski's plan is. He's going to use the president's address where he's going to play a concert, a little short concert, one little song, and hypnotize people so he can rob Metropolis blind. I can see a few holes in the story, especially if he doesn't have that many guys. He's going to need an army of guys to pull this off, and even with an army of guys, it's going to take forever. And with the amount of guys he seems to have right now, it's going to take like 10 days to accomplish something like that. I think people would notice that time difference when they woke up. And once again, robbing is happening while Krasinski's doing something. It's still way too suspicious for him, even if they have no evidence of what he's doing. They could just keep him from making concerts again. The gangster dude then tries to push Superman off the cliff because he's really stupid. I mean, he has been trying to kill Casey the entire time, which is a bad idea, but like, Superman flew you here. Do you think pushing him off a cliff is going to work? Superman just moves and he falls off the cliff and lets the guy fall to his doom as it's described. Wait a minute, he actually saved a dude instead of letting him die in the last issue. Just be a little more consistent with Superman here. I mean, I don't like him letting people die, but if this is going to happen, let's be at least consistent with the character. And we're not going to be consistent with the character because Superman doesn't have time to stop the radio show, but he does stop all the guys from robbing things really quickly, which I love because that has to be a very difficult thing for him to do simultaneously, going across the city and stopping every robbery at once. Then he confronts Krasinski, who tries to hurt him with a bunch of volts of electricity, which sounded like more than the Ultra Humanite used against him that time that knocked him out, but this time it doesn't work at all. So once again, consistency with what hurts Superman. And then he starts playing a song to hypnotize Superman, and this time it works, just to paralyze him. Sometimes hypnosis doesn't work against him, sometimes hypnosis works. Especially if it's going to paralyze him. That always seems to be the one that sort of works. But like almost every other time he gets paralyzed by hypnosis, he breaks right out of it. Don't let your eyes deceive you, it is a different day. The recording stopped, and I actually thought I lost the entire recording until later that day when I discovered that, yeah, there was 8 minutes of it, so like the last minute hadn't recorded, so I'm going to record it right now. So we're actually kind of lucky. I didn't actually check because usually when I go and check the recording and I don't see a video recording, that means I've lost the entire thing. And I was pretty busy yesterday, so once I lost the time to record, I didn't really have time to finish this. So Superman, because you know the drill, he's been hypnotized many times at this point, breaks out of the hypnotism after a few seconds because all he has to do is really focus on the hypnotism and break out of it. Kind of like what happens when I have sleep paralysis. All I do is focus on like moving my toe, and once the toe moves, I'm completely free. Some advice for you. Or at least it makes the time go by faster. Superman immediately starts breaking the piano. That's when Krasinski starts playing a tune, which I don't quite understand how it sounds right, but he plays his death tune, which was referenced earlier in the story, and kills himself with it. Don't know why the death tune did nothing to Superman. Hypnosis works, but not that type of hypnosis. It's just all over the place. And things are now fine. I assume people got their stuff back. It just kind of ends very quickly. There is no real resolution other than like Clark and Lois arguing over bylines again. But yeah, this is a fun story that just doesn't have the right villain for Superman. Like, it gives us a threat that's really good where he has to stop a bunch of crimes happening at the same time. But a guy who plays piano and can maybe hypnotize him for a few seconds is not just going to be a threat to Superman. Now, if he had put everyone's life in danger, like playing the death tone while it was on the radio, then that would have been an actual threat. But that's it from Concert of Doom. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. Until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? Also, why did they take Casey? Doesn't make sense. It was a really stupid move. Have a great day.